I've been part of the fish keeping hobby for quite a while now, and just like any other hobby, it has its pros and its cons. Pros being things such as getting new species, breeding, discovering microscopic creatures in your tank, and just seeing your fish grow up. And then you have the downsides like algae, and more algae, and more algae, and then the occasional fish death because of parasites or whatnot. But the one thing that bugs me in this hobby is misguidance. Welcome to RJsFishes. Please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Just as anyone who's new to the hobby, the first thing they would do is ask the experts. This might be through videos, independent research on forums, but in this case, most new fish keepers would go to their local pet store, ask for a tank setup, ask for the right fish, and get the products. But what I've noticed a lot recently is that pet stores are not really concerned about the fish's well-being, more concerned about selling the products they want you to buy, just so they can make money off you, which is not the right thing, as people often forget that fish aren't just decorations, they're living things with just as much rights as any other animal on this planet. We give more attention to other pets such as cats or dogs, but that doesn't mean fish should be disrespected in any means. They should be given the same love. So I'll tell you my story of how I was given advice, quotation marks, and how it wasn't the best advice. When my parents told me I can get my own fish tank, just like anyone else would be, I was extremely excited, to the point where I focused my research on purely the fish I was most likely to keep. I remember researching platies, zebradanios, even a betta fish, and even those, forgot the species name, like the aquatic frogs I even looked into. So it was a lot of fun, but I mainly got my primary information on setting up the tank from my local fish store, and they told me to do a fishing cycling just like a week after setting up my tank, and they had told me to water change it every single day, which is not what you should do. I had no source of bacteria being put in there at all, so where was I going to establish my bacteria colony? They never told me of the importance of bacteria in the tank and how they break down the dangerous chemicals such as ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates. So I was not aware of that. I just thought, okay, doing water change every single day should keep the water clean. So when I got my first fish for my fishing cycling, which I remember to be 3 guppies, they all except one died within the first 12 hours. They didn't tell me not to feed them the first day. Obviously, as a new fish owner, I thought I should feed them because they're probably hungry. But that was the one wrong thing I did, because putting in that first source of food in a tank, which the tank has never experienced before, obviously the tank didn't already have any settled beneficial bacteria, so ammonia was going to spread, nitrate was going to increase, and that was going to consequently kill the fish, which is exactly what happened. So my point I'm trying to make is, I was not given the advice and I had to learn it on my own, and that cost unnecessary loss of 2 lives of fish, which doesn't seem like a lot to people, but it's still a living thing. They're still breathing, still swimming, still eating just like us, and it should not have died, but it died. But this event happened like over 3 years ago. So what actually triggered me into making this video? Well, it was actually during my work experience placement, where I was told to clean the tanks. I was cleaning the tanks, and I had a guy come up to me. He thought I worked there because I was cleaning the tanks, so he asked me, what fish should I have, cardinals or neons? I don't remember what it was. No, cardinals and rummy nose. And I remember telling him I've personally kept cardinals, and I think they're a really good schooling fish to have in your tank. But then I had to go out, throw the bucket of water away, and when I came back, he was talking to one of the staff members that actually do work there, and I was overhearing a conversation, and he was saying thing about an algae bloom and how his tank water was all green. He didn't know how to fix it. And straight away, without no hesitation, the staff member went to the aisle with all those unnecessary chemicals, which I have no faith in, and told him, oh, let me find a product for you. Looking through the shelf, and doesn't even know what product to pick, just looking at the labels and saying, oh, yeah, this one should work. I don't know anything about it, but it says it'll work, so it'll work. And it annoyed me because I was like, there are so much other better ways of fixing an algae bloom. First of all, it can mean your stock is a lot. You're just getting that bloom of bacteria because it's a newly set up tank, and my inner fish girl could not deal with that. So I walked up to him, even though I had no right doing so, and I asked, oh, what's the problem? So I can act like I didn't know what was going on. She told me she didn't like that I did, I can tell, but she was like, oh, he's got an issue with algae bloom. Then I asked him, when did you set up the tag? All the usual questions you should be asking someone, which she did not do. And he told me, oh, I set up a month ago. Okay, check. So that's been a while, so maybe you're getting your first algae bloom, let's see. And then he tells me he's only got a few fish. Okay, that's okay. He didn't actually tell me the dimensions of the tank, but already having fish, so he's already got that bioload cell. In my mind, I thought. And then I asked him, which I thought would solve the problem, do you have any plants? And he told me, no, I actually don't have any plants. I was like, you should add plants because plants are an amazing absorber of all that excess ammonia and nitrate and other nutrients that will lower the algae population as it acts as competition to the algae. I didn't explain it like that, but I was like, plants should solve your problem. Best natural way. And I'm happy he took my advice. He ignored the chemicals and went right there. But I could tell the staff member was not happy. So that's my point. I feel like they don't really know what they're saying, and they're just trying to sell them the most expensive product. Where all you have to do is ask them a few questions and help them. I do understand this business. You want to make sure your business does well. You want to make sure that you earn the most money, but not helping people like this is just it's leading to the consequence that the customer has to face and not necessarily the seller, which is not fair for the customer as they're paying you money. So I would say give them the advice they deserve. So I feel like after that happened, I realized that this was such a common thing, because I even had a few of my past friends who also kept fish tanks, and I would tell them, oh no, you have to do this. They're like, oh no, but the fish guy said this was fine. The guy at the store said it was fine. And obviously they're going to go follow what they're saying over me because they're more experty, I guess, if that's the term you like to say. So that was my little rant for what I believe is the biggest problem in the fish keeping hobby. So what are the next steps and what can be done? Well, first of all, I feel like pet stores need to take more initiative in giving the proper information and ensuring that people aren't impulse buying. Impulse buying is when you go to the store not knowing what you want, and then you see something which sparks your interest and you say, I want that, and you buy it without any prior research, without knowing what their requirements are, etc. I mean, I've been a victim of impulse buying. No one is perfect. But pet stores need to ensure they're asking the right questions and giving more support. Not just trying to sell the product, like I've said a billion times. So, what I want to say is thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this. This was really fun to make, and let me know if there are any more debate topics you want me to discuss, or some help and facts on like fish keeping, and I will be making some more cat related videos in the future as well, and hopefully other species. So please subscribe to join me on this journey, and hope to see you soon for the next one. Bye.